Let me tell you a story, one of the oldest, strangest, and most misunderstood love stories in mythology. It's not about a thunder god or a war hero, but about two beings who couldn't be more different, and yet, somehow, fit together like the changing of the seasons. Let's start from the beginning. Long ago, when the gods first carved up the universe after defeating the Titans, three brothers stepped forward to rule. Zeus, with his booming thunder, took the sky. Poseidon claimed the oceans. And then there was the eldest, Hades. Now, Hades didn't get the glorious sky or the vast sea. He ended up with the underworld, dark, silent, hidden beneath the earth. Most saw that as a curse. But Hades, he made it a kingdom. He wasn't evil, like many people think. He was serious, quiet, deeply fair, and powerful in a way the others didn't quite understand. He ruled the dead, but he wasn't death itself. He didn't chase mortals or throw tantrums like Zeus. He simply watched, waited, and kept order in a place where everyone, eventually, would pass through. But for all his power, there was something missing in Hades' world: companionship. He ruled alone, year after year, while his brothers feasted on Olympus. And then, far above him, there was Persephone. Persephone, though back then they just called her Kor, meaning the maiden, was the daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest. And let me tell you, Demeter adored her. Persephone was everything bright and full of life. She'd walk through meadows, and wherever her feet touched, flowers would bloom. People say she was beautiful, yes, but there was more to her than that. There was this quiet curiosity in her, this yearning to understand things beyond what she was told. Her mother tried to shield her from everything dark or dangerous, but Persephone, she wanted to know more than just sunshine and blossoms. She could feel it, that there was something waiting for her beyond the edges of her familiar world. And one day, she found it. It happened when she was out gathering flowers, away from her mother's watchful eye. She reached out to pluck a rare bloom. Some say it was a narcissus, others say it shimmered unnaturally. The moment she touched it, the ground cracked open beneath her. A chariot burst forth, black as obsidian, drawn by dark horses that breathed mist. And from the shadows rose Hades. Now this is the part where stories often say, he kidnapped her. But it's not quite that simple. Because when Hades looked at her, really looked, something shifted. He didn't see just a maiden. He saw a queen. And Persephone? Instead of screaming or running, she hesitated. She looked into his eyes and saw, not terror, but a kind of deep sadness, a longing that mirrored her own. He offered her his hand, and she took it. When Persephone first descended into the underworld, it was like stepping into another universe. Gone were the golden meadows and buzzing bees, the warmth of sunlight on her skin. Instead, she found herself surrounded by soft shadows, misty rivers, and halls carved from obsidian and bone. The air was cool, still, and humming with forgotten voices. But what surprised her most was the quiet dignity of it all. This wasn't some hellish prison. It was a realm of order, a place where lost souls were guided, judged, and given peace or punishment. And at the heart of it all was Hades, ruling not with fire and fear, but with calm, unwavering justice. At first, he kept his distance. Hades wasn't like the other gods. There were no thunderous declarations, no showy displays. He simply waited, let her explore, let her ask questions. He gave her a room of her own, and then a garden. A strange one, yes, with silver trees, ghostly blossoms, and flowers that bloomed under torchlight instead of sun. He watched her move through his world with fascination. She wasn't frightened. She was curious. And Persephone, for the first time in her life, wasn't being told what she could or couldn't do. No one hovered over her. No one told her who she was supposed to be. And so, slowly, without fanfare or force, something bloomed between them. They'd walk together by the banks of the river Styx, speaking of mortal souls, of destiny, of choice. They'd talk for hours in the gardens, where Persephone began planting things of her own. He'd bring her ancient scrolls to read, show her the cryptic workings of the fates. And one night, he told her stories no one else knew, not even the gods. Stories of being swallowed by his father, of growing up in darkness, of always being forgotten. Persephone listened. She saw him. And one day, when he hesitated to hold her hand, she reached out first. That night, the torches in the underworld burned warmer than ever. They were an unlikely pair, life and death, growth and stillness. But they fit in the way two puzzle pieces do when the world says they shouldn't. And somehow, amidst shadowed halls and rivers of memory, they found something neither of them had ever known before: a home. While in the underworld, Persephone had eaten 6 seeds of a pomegranate. And in myth, eating food from the land of the dead ties you to it. She hadn't eaten much, but it was enough. So a deal was made. Persephone would return to the surface for part of the year. 6 months with her mother, and 6 months with Hades. Life would return to the world when she did, and wither when she left. And that's how the seasons began. The moment Persephone returned to the surface, back to Demeter, back to sunlight, everything bloomed again. Crops grew, rivers flowed, birds sang. Her mother was overjoyed. But Persephone? She smiled, yes. But her eyes held something deeper now. A knowing, a gravity, a flicker of shadow. Because she was no longer just the maiden of spring. She was now also queen of the underworld. And when autumn came and the winds grew colder, she didn't resist. She walked willingly back into Hades' arms. Her return changed everything. Down in the underworld, Persephone wasn't just a guest anymore. She ruled. She passed judgment beside Hades. She calmed the newly dead. She planted sacred groves where souls could rest before their journey. Spirits began to whisper her name with reverence, not just as the queen, but as the one who brought mercy and compassion to a land known only for endings. And Hades? He treated her as his equal in every sense. No command passed without her voice. No celebration was held without her at the center. He called her my core in private, and my queen in front of all others. He loved her not in bursts of fire, but in constancy, in the way the moon always returns, or how the river always reaches the sea. They never needed grand gestures. Their love was in the quiet things. The way he would pause at the throne room door until she joined him. The way she would leave pomegranate seeds by his table when she wanted him to stay longer. The way they understood, without words, the weight each carried, and carried it together. Even the other gods began to see them differently. What began as scandal became legend. And when the time came, year after year, for her to return to Earth, Hades would let her go. Not because he wanted to, but because he respected her freedom. He knew she would always come back. And she always did. Because theirs wasn't a story of captivity. It was a story of choosing each other, again and again. People often ask, was it love? Was it fate? Maybe it was both. Maybe it was about 2 lonely souls, one above the earth, one beneath it, who found in each other what no one else could give. He gave her freedom from her golden cage. She gave him light in his endless dark. And together, they turned a myth of death into a story of balance, power, and a love that defied even the gods. Which of these legendary anecdotes fascinate you the most? Let us know in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe Mythpaws for more such magical journeys.